And our next speaker, Anna Kelly from Theosophical Society of England. Anna Kelly was born in California, USA, and has been living in southwest of the United Kingdom from 2009. She has experience in public speaking and has been working on radio and television for 30 years, voicing thousands of commercials since 2002, and has also been a lecturer and motivational speaker on building trust, communication, and overcoming addiction, and is currently a media human resources officer for the core volunteer team of the Virtual Centre for Theosophical Reach and official trustee of the Theosophical Society's charitable foundation in Scotland, and also works in media broadcasting in the Theosophical Society's headquarters in London, England. In 2016, she founded her own publishing company called Yogi Philosophy Publication to republish and create audiobooks of three sacred theosophical classics: The Voice of Silence, Light on the Path, and the 14 Lessons on Yoga, Philosophy, and Eastern Occultism. The report of Anna Kelly, Theosophy in Practical Application.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that beautiful introduction. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay? Can everybody hear? Yeah? Okay, good.
Дорогая Анна, хороший звук, мы вас слышим. Продолжайте, пожалуйста. Когда нужно будет включить презентацию, скажите.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just begin and allow you to put up the slides when you feel it is time. I'll call for slide 1 and we can start that way if that works. It is an honor to be here at the 4th International Theosophical Congress among fellow dedicated theosophists as well as scientists from all over Russia and many countries across the world. I would like to thank the translators in working hard to get this message out all over the globe, and each and every dedicated student and theosophist at the Adamant Lodge, members of the Russian School of Theosophy, the committed and diligent members of the Theosophical Youth Groups, and everyone who is helping to do their part to share these ancient, sacred teachings that belong to all of us and solely to none. One can memorize and study and regurgitate and reiterate the ageless divine theosophical teachings, but it is all for naught unless these teachings are put into application in every aspect of our daily lives. This ancient, sacred knowledge has been handed down to us by sages through the ages for us to become, not simply to read and study and pontificate, but come to be the ancient divine science. We must come to be this that is based on fact, not faith. Many empaths are currently incarnating, and each coming in with a feeling of close connection with all beings and with nature. I'm not ready for the slides to go yet. I'm not ready for that yet. If we could just pause on that one, please. Thank you. They offer much hope for humanity. These empaths, in my understanding, come in with what we call inherent theosophy. They're inherent theosophists. They understand that everything and all is one. Seeing oneself in another and feeling another's emotions with a sense of overwhelming, unconditional understanding and love. Many feel that they must somehow get busy working to change the world. Yet the only way this can be done is for us to change ourselves, change our thoughts, and change our own behaviors, our actions, and our reactions. We must overcome and change ourselves. So we begin with slide 1 here, which is from the Voice of
Начну с первого слайда.
Slide 1. And this says, oh, sorry, go ahead. It says, hast thou attuned thy being to humanity's great pain, O candidate for light? And if you are here, you understand what this means. You've heard that call. And slide number 2, please.
Следующий слайд.
Thank you. Can there be bliss when all that lives must suffer, shalt thou be saved and hear the whole world cry? Also from the voice of the silence, what are we doing here? What is our point here? It is not just for us to elevate our own individual selves. We are here to serve humanity. What to do with all of this crushing compassion then? In Light on the Path, it is spoken of the great battle. We have come to understand that this battle indeed takes place between good and evil, but not via forces outside of ourselves, by independent supernatural beings in some other realm. This great battle takes place inside each and every one of us, between our own higher and lower selves. This is from Light on the Path, and it says, mind, heart, and brain are all obscure and dark until this first great battle has been won. Be not appalled and terrified by this sight, but keep your eyes fixed on the small light, and it will grow. It will grow. Not yet. Well, we'll get to that in a second. But to identify and differentiate between the higher and lower selves, I often refer to the age-old virtues and vices of man. The definition of virtue is good moral character, humility against pride, kindness against envy, temperance against gluttony, chastity, doesn't mean you have to be celibate, but chastity against lust, patience against anger. Not ready to move on those slides yet. Hold that one thought, please. Charity and liberality against greed, and diligence against sloth. Now, in these slides, in the voice of the silence, it is described the 7 portals. So you've got the Russian one up there. Thou seest well, Lenu, that is you, the disciple. These portals lead the aspirant across the waters to the other shore, which is nirvana. Each portal has a golden key that openeth the gate. And these keys are Dana, the key of charity and love immortal. Shila, the key of harmony in word and act, the key that counterbalances the cause and the effect and leaves no further room for karmic action. Kshanti, patience sweet that naught can ruffle. Next slide, please. Thank you. Virag, indifference to pleasure and to pain, illusion conquered, truth alone perceived. Virya, the dauntless energy that fights its way to the supernal, which means heavenly or celestial truth, because out of the mire of the lies that are here in the terrestrial world. Dhyana, whose golden gate once opened, leads the Naljor, the adept, that's you, toward the realm of Sat, divine essence, absoluteness, beingness, eternal, and its ceaseless contemplation. And Pregna, the key to which makes of man a god and creates him a bodhisattva, the son of the Dhyanis. These are the portals. Such to these portals are these keys, which are also the same as the vices and the virtues. This helps to identify your higher and lower self. Also, from the voice of the silence, it is written, of teachers there are many. The master soul is one. Alaya, the universal soul, or Atman, live in that master as its ray in you, in you. Live in thy fellows as they live in it. Recognize that. Thou shalt not separate thy being from being and the rest, but merge the ocean in the drop and the drop within the ocean. Slide number 6. So we don't need any church. This is a quote from Isis Unveiled. HPB writes, The world needs no sectarian church, whether of Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Swedenborg, Calvin, or any other. There is only one truth. Man requires one church, and it's here, the temple of God within us, walled in by matter, but penetrable by anyone who can find the way. The pure in heart see God. The pure in heart see God. That's you. Altruism is the keynote. Altruism, kindness, compassion is the keynote of theosophy and the cure for all ills. HBB has written that in her second letter to the American Convention of Theosophists. And here we have, again, the voice of the silence saying, to live, to benefit mankind is the first step. That is the entire reason we are studying any of this, is to put it into practice and become these teachings. So it is to live selflessness, to live compassion, to live kindness, unconditional love, empathy, understanding, and service to all beings. And we must apply that in everyday life, whether it be tragedy or triumph, fear or calm, known and unknown, that we must make these teachings and put them into practice, not just here, in everyday life, in being kind to those who are unkind to us, in overcoming our need to be right, in realizing that in everything, every opportunity, every difficulty is a test. Every difficulty is a test, and it is a lesson if we are willing to learn. Every activity, no matter how small, every activity should be infused with theosophy. It is our responsibility to become living theosophy. In our every action, our reaction and response, which are the only things we truly have control over, we have a choice to become the difference that helps to alleviate the unnecessary suffering of all beings on our planet. The meaning of life is to continuously work to conquer our own lower selves, to leave this world a little better, a little lighter than before we got here. From Kutumi, Master Kutumi writes, the greatest consolation in and the foremost duty of life, child, is not to give pain and to avoid causing suffering to man or beast. The next slide, please. There we go. Now we've heard this has been attributed to HPB, and it is very applicable. Theosophy is who theosophy does. Not thinks, not studies, not feels, but does. It is in action. It is in action that these teachings come to life. The books are great, but the application of what's in the books is the key. In The Key to Theosophy, it is written, Blavatsky quotes Thomas Carlyle, says, the end of man is an action and not a thought, though it were the noblest. So we can think, we can study, we can get degrees, but it's about what we do that makes the difference. The universe is worked and guided from within outwards. We hear this all the time, as above, so below, as above, so below, as in heaven, on earth. The man, the microcosm, and the miniature copy of all that is, the macrocosm, the living witness to this universal law and to the mode of its action. That's from the secret doctrine. Again, as above, so it is below. We must become it. It is our responsibility. Next slide, please. Theosophy cannot be bought, and this is my understanding, it cannot be taught. It can be earned, and it can be learned. The timeless sacred words of truth, simply just terms until put into action by mankind. We could read books until the end of time on how to drive an automobile, tirelessly memorizing the names and functions of the parts, and we may technically understand the premise of the engineering and have heard of other people's experience behind the wheel, but until we sit in the seat and actually take to the roads, we do not understand until we do it ourselves. We have not truly learned how to drive a car until it is done ourselves. As scientists perform experiments to prove theories, we humans must have a personal experience and personal experiences to prove our own understanding. Silence is not empty. It is full of answers. We were born with our very own built-in guidance system, our own sat-nav. Theosophy is humanity's textbook. If we work every day, in every way, to overcome ourselves, to subdue the beast within us, the brute nature, and always reach for a better way to act, to respond, and react, then we, like candles in the blackest night, can help to illuminate the darkness. Theosophy gives us every tool and paves the way for each of us as individuals to understand our connection. Let us unite as the cells of the endless, boundless being that we are. For together, in self-assessment and reflection and realignment, we can become the opposite to that which still plagues humanity. That is selfishness, ignorance, superstition, fear, which is often known as hate, greed, all causes of perpetual, unnecessary suffering. And from the voice of the silence to close, then from the heart, that power shall rise into the sixth, the middle region between thine eyes, when it becomes the breath of the one soul, the voice of the silence, which filleth all. 'Tis only then that thou can become a walker of the sky. Thank you. Thank you.
Дорогая Аня, огромное вам спасибо.
Dear Anna, thank you for your inspirational speech. In your practical experience, the main that Theosophy should be, we should apply this in our daily life. I want to say hello from Theosophists from all Russia. Thank you. Thank you for your report.